everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. For today's video, I am going to be doing something a little different. So a couple of months ago, I got this comment from one of my lovely subscribers, and I remembered this comment for a very long time, and it was on my mind to film this video, and so I am now finally getting around to filming it and just kind of showing you my everyday makeup look. This is just going to be like a little get ready with me. It is not a tutorial because I would trust nothing that you're about to hear me say. Yeah, I thought maybe some people would be interested in seeing it, and I do really enjoy makeup on top of books and all the other things that I do on my channel, so I thought I would just incorporate a little bit of that. So yeah, let's just get started. Beware, in the next clip you are going to be seeing me completely naked-faced, so viewers' discretion is advised. Well, this is the first time my naked face has ever been on this channel. I have definitely made it a point of not putting this on the internet. I am kind of insecure about my face without makeup on, and not for the reason that most people would think. Like, as you can see, I've got a lot of acne, there's a lot of acne scarring, but the thing I'm like most insecure about is my eyes without makeup, because I feel like they just look like they're not really there, or they're just like very little like beady mole rat eyes. So that's why I wear a lot of like eyeliner and mascara, and I don't like to go out without eyeliner and mascara. Like, I don't really mind so much going without face makeup. It's just like the eyes that bother me the most. But yeah, for today's video I'm going to try and get over that and do this video. So first, I always start off with moisturizer. I say always, but sometimes I forget. Use the Olay Active Hydration Active, whatever that is. I also hope the mirror in the corner is not too distracting from the rest of the video. Next, I move on to my foundation, which I use the Maybelline Matte Plus Poreless Foundation in the shade Porcelain. It's actually, surprisingly, I thought this was always the lightest shade that you can get, but it's actually like the third lightest. And then I just take my 500-year-old beauty blender and put it on my face. I feel very uncomfortable right now because I have like my proper big lighting to make the video look lit, and that's not usually the lighting I do my makeup in, so this lighting is really revealing all of the blemishes and imperfections that I usually don't pay attention to when I'm actually doing my makeup. So this is fun. Wow. I look so white, you could see me from space. I've also noticed that when I film videos, my face always looks extremely overexposed, but I don't feel like any other part of it looks too overexposed. Like, my books look fine, I feel like my clothes and my hair look fine, it's just my face looks very overexposed, but I think that's like just my face. It's kind of a good thing because I also feel like it kind of conceals all of my horrible imperfections, and I usually add a little bit more foundation under my eyes because I don't wear concealer. I used to, but I can't be bothered anymore. So I just add more foundation under my eyes to conceal all of those sleepless nights. Okay, now the camera is overexposed and it's making me look awfully scary. Even I'm a little freaked out. So let's swiftly move on to the next step. Like, I know it looks bad now, but trust me, it gets worse. I then powder my face with the Maybelline Fit Me powder, again in matte and poreless, and this is just in translucent. And I just use a really dirty e.l.f. powder brush. It being dirty is key. And I really like to cake it on there. People are always like, Hannah, you should really not cake it on so much. But I'm like, hey, when has cake ever been a bad thing? So I then move on to blush, which I recently switched blushes. The one I used to use is probably the same one that your grandma uses, and it's like this like old CoverGirl looking one, which I pretty much use to death. So then I decided recently that I would try something new, so I tried the Maybelline Fit Me blush, the same one that's my powder and foundation. This one is in the shade 25 pink. Yeah, that's it. And again, I just use an e.l.f. brush because they're cheap. I never used to wear blush until recently because I always just wanted to look as dead as possible, which was fine when I would wear a lot of like cool toned eyeshadows, but then when I started wearing more warm tone stuff like browns and golds, which is what I mostly wear as of lately, I noticed that without the blush it kind of looked a little weird. And yes, my face is very overexposed, so you can't really see any of the blush I just put on, but it's there in spirit. So that's all I do for my face makeup. I don't put on bronzer because I'm so pale it just looks like I smeared dirt on my face. And I don't put on highlighter because I sweat throughout the day and it basically gives me the same look. So now I move on to eyeshadow, and I usually for like my everyday looks do one of 3 looks. So I either used the Blushed Nudes palette by Maybelline, and I either do like a silvery looking thing or a kind of like rose gold pink sort of look. But that is not what I'm going to be using today. I'll be using the Nudes palette by Maybelline. As you can see, I get a lot of Maybelline coupons, so that's why I use a lot of their products. And then I also use a single Maybelline eyeshadow and then a L'Oreal eyeshadow that I got from the Dollar Tree for $1. I first start out with the little single eyeshadow. I don't know what the name of it is because I ripped all of the information off of it, but it's just like a super duper light beige color, and I just use it as like a transition shade in the crease of my eye so that the rest of my eyeshadow blends a little bit better. And then I take this palette and I use this shade, which is kind of like a light taupey color, and I put that in my crease, which is a sentence that I have never said out loud and I kind of don't want to ever say it again. And I also take it like down under my eye just to kind of bring the whole look together. I don't know. Then I take this shade right here, which is a darker brown, and I put that in like the outer corner of my eye. And I'll also like bring it down a little bit on the bottom. Just using the same brush for all of this. This is a Wet n Wild blending brush that I got from the Dollar Tree as well. Good enough. Okay, so then I take a flat kind of shader brush. I have no idea where this brush came from. Some of this stuff is just like it showed up in my makeup somehow, and I just think, oh, the makeup elves dropped it off. I don't know where it came from. So then I take this color in the corner, which is like a sparkly bronzy color, and I put that on the outer half of my lid. And I do it kind of sloppily because I'm going to blend it later, so it's fine. And then on a different flat shader brush, also from e.l.f., I take the L'Oreal shadow, which is in the shade Morning Light, and this is just like a really, really sparkly cream color. And I put that on the inner corner and the like rest of my eyelid that doesn't have eyeshadow on it. And I just like blend it into the bronzy color. And I also put it on my brow bone. So at this point it looks pretty bad. So I go back with the big fluffy brush and the other palette, and I take a little bit of this color that we used at first and then a little bit of this color and blend all of it together into my crease. That was way too dark. I regret doing it. So that is that for my eyeshadow. I usually just kind of like wipe off all of the foundation that got on my eyebrows, and then I don't do anything with my brows. They just kind of do their own thing, and occasionally I pluck them when they get a little bit too unruly, but they're fine right now. My gosh. I look terrifying. Okay, so I'm still not done with my Maybelline palette. I take a little angled brush that I think would be used for your eyebrows, and it's also from e.l.f. And then I take the black color in the corner, and I basically use that as my first base for my eyeliner. And it tends to like have a lot of fallout, so I put a tissue under my eye while I do it. And I only do it on the outer corner of the top lid and like the outer 2/3 of my bottom lash line. I do it like that because I feel like if I do it all the way around, it makes my eyes look really small. And my like end goal in life is just to look like a Tim Burton character with really huge beady little eyeballs. So I don't want to make my eyes look any smaller than they already are. But that is that, and then I take my actual eyeliner, which I use the Maybelline Unstoppable eyeliner in the shade Onyx. And it's just like a retractable eyeliner, and I just go over what I already did with the eyeshadow. And then after that, I do like my eyeliner to look a little bit more like natural and kind of smoked out. So I just take my finger, because I'm a professional, and I blend it with my finger. And if I do have any like excess fallout under my eye, I just take my powder brush and just swipe it under my eye, and it tends to just wipe it away. And then of course the final step for my eyes is mascara. The mascara I'm using right now is not the one that I usually use, but I just got this one as like a sample for Christmas. So it's called Milk Makeup. Never heard of it before, but like I said, I got it as a gift, so I'm gonna use it. And usually I do like 2 coats. I mean, it depends on what you call a coat. Like I go over this like 50 billion times, and then I stick it back into the tube, and then I go over it again, and that's what I consider to be a second coat. I also do one eye at a time, so I like do my top lashes. I do a little bit on the bottom lashes. My bottom lashes don't really exist, so I don't do a lot. And then I do this eye again. I also get it all over my eyelid, but we clean it up with a Q-tip later. And once that eye looks reasonably okay, we move on to the second eye, which usually there's always one eye that's just better than the other. So I always know if like my first eye comes out okay, that the other one is just gonna be a lost cause, and I try to just accept it. Once I'm done with that, I will just take a Q-tip and very gently brush off all of the mascara that I got on my eyelid, and usually it comes off pretty easily without wiping away too much of the eyeshadow. So yeah, I feel like most people know about that trick with the mascara. If you like get it anywhere besides where you want it to be, you just take a Q-tip and wipe it off, but you have to make sure that it's actually dry before you wipe it off, because if it's still wet, it'll just smear. And then of course I do my signature red lipstick. So I use the Maybelline again. Are you surprised? I'm not. It's the Color Sensational. I think it's a matte liquid lipstick in the shade Red Punch, I think. This one is really old, and it's also very small, so I'm kind of running out of it, and so as you can see, I'm like digging around in there to try and get what's left of it. And yes, I do slightly overdraw my lips on purpose, accidentally on purpose. It started off happening accidentally, and then I got so used to seeing myself with bigger lips that I started doing it on purpose. This is a good look, let me tell you. I kind of look like the Grinch, if I'm being honest. I also like to change the shape of my lips a little bit. So like most people, including myself, have like a little Cupid's bow, but I just draw straight over it, so it just goes straight across. Then after that, I always put in my earrings, of course, which is another like signature staple of mine, along with my red lips. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said at the beginning, which I haven't filmed yet because that's just the way these things work. I am not a professional makeup artist. This is just something that I like to do for fun. And yeah, I like the way my makeup comes out, so that's all that really matters. And that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
You hear that, Samson?